Duffy's Tavern, starring Archie himself and Gardner.
Here we go, friends, to Duffy's Tavern, with our guest tonight, Margaret O'Brien, and starring Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Duffy's Tavern, where the elite meet to eat. Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Oh, hello, Duffy. Hey, guess who's coming down tonight? Margaret O'Brien. What? Look, Duffy, we can't have cheesecake every week. Besides, she's cute, you know, and her name is O'Brien. That's better, huh? Yeah, Duffy, she's Ireland's answer to Bobby Breen. I should what? Buy her a set of blocks? Look, Duffy, this kid already owns a set of blocks. All the way from Sunset Boulevard to Hollywood and Vine. You know, she's a movie star. That's right, little Margaret O'Brien from the movies and the banks. The stock market. Uh-huh. When other kids was learning about the birds and the bees, she was learning about the bulls and the bears. Huh? Well, what brings it down? I'm writing a television program for her. Hello? What a critic. Let's see here. Act 1, Scene 1, Prologue. How do you spell prologue?
Prologue.
Oh, thanks. The heroine speaks. Darling, do not prologue the agony. Just hope the kid is able to pronounce long words like that. Now, look, this Margaret is just a kid. You know, as the French say, a June filly. We want Duffy's Tavern to look real nice. Miss Duffy, how long do you think it'd take to make the place look respectable?
Well, let me see. This is 1950.
Look, I ain't kidding about this. Wait a minute. Eddie.
Yeah?
Look, you see that bottle up there we got marked champagne?
The one we changed from bourbon?
No, the other one. The one we changed from gin.
Well, what'll we do with it?
Change it back to 7-Up.
Okay, but it'll still be water.
Well, just so it won't rupture the kid's mind, huh? Let me see. What else might not be de rigueur or, as we say, muy no bueno? Oh, yeah, that statue in the corner there.
What's wrong with that statue?
I'm afraid it's a trifle unrisque.
What do you mean that's unrisque? It's just Aphrodite.
That's the trouble. She ain't wearing one. Let's figure here. What else could we do to make the place attractive? You know, something that would appeal to the mind of a child.
Hello, Arch.
Oh, hello, Finnegan. Look, I don't want you to bother me tonight. I'm going to be busy writing a television play.
What?
You heard me. I'm about to give birth to a brainchild.
Oh, shall I boil some water?
Please. The brainchild is a television play.
Oh, boy. Can I act in it, Arch?
You an actor?
Why, certainly. I'll never forget the time I played Hamlet. Boy, the way that audience yelled.
Why did they yell?
The play was Macbeth. By the way, Arch, who else is acting in this play?
Only Margaret O'Brien.
Let me see. Margaret O'Brien.
Yeah, you Margaret O'Brien. You've seen Little Women, ain't you?
Yeah?
Well?
She's a midget?
mean, you know, I think when they handed out brains, you got falsies. Please, stop bothering me, will you? I gotta finish this television play. Now, let me see. The heroine says, "Be gone, fair prince, ere I stab you with your own Lancelot." Eddie, you look pensive. What are you thinking about?
Well, I'm thinking what it would be like to have all the money in the world and be real rich like Margaret O'Brien.
Look, Eddie, money ain't everything. Money can't repair a broken heart or put a dream back together, you know? Money can't brighten the heart or repair the portals of a shattered home or take the place of the fond affection that gleams from the eyes of a loved one.
Mr. Archie, that sure was a lovely speech.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yes, sir. I bet you nowhere in the world has anybody ever said more beautiful things about Confederate money.
Archie, I think Margaret O'Brien is here.
Where?
Outside. The back of her car just pulled up.
What makes you think it's the back of her car?
The front part went by 5 minutes ago.
Hey, you're right. Let me look. Hey, it is Margaret O'Brien.
Hello, everybody.
Well, itty-bitty Margaret O'Brien. Does oo like oo's Unclekins, Archiekins?
Well, I find you amiable, winsome, and ingratiating.
Does that mean she's glad or she ain't glad?
Oh, I like 'ems, my Unclekins, Archiekins.
You do? Ain't she a cute little trike? Take that, Eddie.
Hello. Okay.
What was it?
Uncle Duffykins wants Uncle Archiekins to empty out the garbage can.
Stay out of here, will you? Well, Margaret, gee, I don't know how to talk to kids. Tell me, what do you think of the tavern here?
I'm speechless.
Can't say a word, huh?
Not with this cobweb over my face.
Oh, pardon me, I'll remove it. There, now how does the place look?
Archie,
Yeah?
put the cobweb back.
If this kid didn't own 6 major studios, I'd throw her out of the joint. Well, tell me, Margaret, can we get you something to repast yourself? You seem a little hungry.
What makes you say that?
The way you looked at the free lunch.
Well, it looked at me first.
Well, stick around a while, it'll get used to you. Well, Margaret, what do you have? A slug of sarsaparilla? Shot of Ovaltine?
If you don't mind, I think I'll just take 3 fingers of milk.
3 fingers of milk, good for you. You know, after what I hear about some of them Hollywood kids, I'm glad to hear that you're a real toper. And I want you to take home a good report to your mother.
Thank you. And now, Archie, if you don't mind, I'd like to meet your mother. I beg your pardon.
Margaret, this is Miss Duffy. She just works here.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Tell me, Miss Duffy, do you like your job? Well, you know, this job is just temporary. I'm just doing it until, well, there's a certain person who's just insisting on my getting married. There is? Who?
Her father.
Attention to it, Miss O'Brien. It happens that I'm engaged to Rodney Haybinder. You know, it's funny. I know a Rodney, too. Oh, really? What's he like? Oh, he's very good looking. Owns his own home and a swimming pool. I wonder if I could meet him. Say, Saturday? He's only 15. Around 6 o'clock?
This dame don't stop at nothing. Miss Duffy, the kid is only 15 years old.
Archie, I'm just trying to hold on to my youth.
Well, you ain't holding on to this one.
Hey, Arch, how about an introduction?
Just a minute, Finnegan.
Archie, what is he supposed to be?
A human being.
My goodness. Who was your casting director?
Boris Karloff.
Oh, permit me, Margaret. This is Miss O'Brien, Mr. Finnegan.
Charmed.
Frightened.
Well, I seen you've grown up.
Yes. Why haven't you?
Oh, I don't know. I just keep putting it off.
Finnegan, please butt out of this, will you? I'd like to tell Miss O'Brien about the television play that I wrote for her.
Oh, sorry, old bean.
We'll return.
All right, leave us rehearse this television program. Read me announcement, Eddie.
Okay. Presenting Uncle Archie and his Itsy Bitsy Kitties program. Mothers, let Uncle Archie and his bedtime stories put your children to sleep. Permanently.
Eddie, stop adding words, will you?
Sorry. Tonight, your lovable Uncle Archie brings you that beautiful, heartwarming story, Cinderella. Wrote and adapted by Archie.
Archie, you insist that I do this?
Why shouldn't you?
I'm too young to die.
Please, Margaret, don't say things like that, or Uncle Archie will have to give you castor oil and send you home to bed now. Give me a nice big kiss and show the television audience we're good friends.
Uncle Archie,
Yes?
couldn't I just have the castor oil?
Beginning to think that youth is much too good for this kid. Now, leave us start to play. Camera, action, Vodio.
I am Cinderella. Nobody loves me because on the surface I am a very ugly-looking tomato.
The word is tomato, Margaret. Now read the lines right.
On the surface I am a very ugly-looking tomato.
That's better.
But beneath my dirty face and ragged clothes, I am a real hunk of punkritude. If the fellows at the pool room knew how really beautiful I am, I would be as popular as... Archie, do I have to say this?
Go ahead, read what I wrote.
As popular as a glass of water at a herring dinner. All day long I work in the scullery, sweeping the kitchen, peeling onions, cleaning fish. Yet somehow the boys just seem to turn up their noses and stagger away.
Now, to continue our story, Cinderella has two crummy stepsisters. A couple of real beasts named Heifer and Zephyr. Heifer's got the kind of a face that'd stop a sundial. And Zephyr's got ears that stick out so far she looks like a stagecoach with both doors open. Kiddies, yous have never seen such a bony-looking dame. She can't even take a bath because she's so skinny that when she starts slapping herself with the wash rag, she misses herself. On the other hand, Heifer is so fat that if she painted every other tooth black, she'd look like a baby grand piano. Now, I hope you kiddies is enjoying the fairy tale.
They should. 1,200 years later, Fred Allen made a fortune with the same material.
And And now we return you to Cinderella's house, where we find Heifer, the fat sister, answering the telephone. And she says...
Hello, Cinderella's house where the hags wear rags. Heifer, this hippo speaking. Zephyr ain't here. Oh, hello, King. What? You're throwing a wing-ding at the palace tonight? Okay, Your Majesty, count us in. We'll be there just as soon as we can shave and get ready.
Oh, goodness. A party at the King's Palace? Am I going too?
Not you, you little crumb. Back to the scullery.
Well, kiddies, when Cinderella hears she ain't going to the party, her poor, sad little eyes fill up like a drunk at a convention. She sobs.
Oh, misery. Why, oh, why must I be treated thus? I would rather be dead. Do you hear? Dead! Dead! Dead!
Look, Margaret, you already got the Academy Award. Now, take it easy, will you? Well, kiddies, there she is, poor Cinderella, all alone. No date. No way of getting one. Sad as a church mouse when all of a sudden a beautiful fairy godmother appears. And she says gently...
So why are you moping around like a dope? So why ain't you at the King's party?
Lovely lady, who are you?
Who else? I'm your fairy godmother. Tell me, kid, what's eating you?
I wasn't invited to the party.
So what's to stop you from crashing?
But, fairy godmother, how can I? All I have to wear is this off-the-shoulder Pillsbury flour sack.
Well, sir, one wave of the wand and Cinderella's wearing glass slippers and a shiny red, white, and blue dress spangled with gold sequins. All she needs is a tightrope and an umbrella. So, she says...
Good fairy, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm thinking what a schnook I am for not wearing that dress myself.
You're very kind. And just to think, a few minutes ago I was cleaning fish.
Ooh. Well, we better take care of that, too.
Another wave of the fairy's wand and Cinderella smelling like Chanel No. 5. And still another wave of the wand and Cinderella has a hairdo you can't tell which one is the Tony. So the fairy godmother says...
Kid, you're the hottest dish that Tithouse since Howard Hughes waved the magic wand over Jane Russell. You'll kill that stag line.
I fear not, good fairy. Alas.
Why alas, lass?
I don't know how to dance.
Oh, no? Just hand me that magic wand. I'm flying dry.
3 more waves of the wand and Cinderella is holding a diploma from Arthur Murray. Now she's really ready. And now, kiddies, here we are at the palace, at His Majesty's annual flea hop. All of high society is present. It's the kind of a party where you wouldn't dare burp unless you used the broad A. Suddenly, the king's son, Prince Charming, happens to look up from the eggnog bowl. And when he sees Cinderella, his eyes start spinning around like cherries in a slot machine. She hits him like a ton of bricks. Since the eggnog has also hit him like a ton of bricks, the 2 tons of bricks walks over to Cinderella and says...
We're Prince Charming. Hey, baby, how would you like to take a walk around the moat?
Not knowing what a moat is, Cinderella plays cagey, and she says...
Sir, would you ask that of your sister?
Never stuck for an answer, the prince, who was educated at Oxford, says... Then later he adds... And finally Finally, he goes so far as to say... Well, sir, by now it's almost midnight. So Cinderella, who has fallen in love with the prince, says to the fairy godmother...
Fairy godmother, do you think that romance has finally come into my life?
Sure, kid. There's romance in the sky. There's romance in the stars. There's romance in the moon.
Don't you have something within walking distance?
Wait a minute, Cinderella. Forsooth, the clock is striking 12. We better take it on the lamb.
But what about Prince Charming?
Don't worry. We'll take another belt at him tomorrow night.
Well, sir, the next night the king's party goes on again. The joint is jumping. The king is playing the drums, and the queen is playing two of the royal grenadiers. One grenadier for romance, the other a lookout for the king. Cinderella has just arrived, so she says...
Oh, Prince Charming, where are you?
I'm out at the moat, indulging in my favorite pastime.
What's that?
Bobbing for peasants. Well, shoot me, old man, or call me king if it ain't Cinderella. Fair one, wouldst thou neck with me on the drawbridge?
Well, sir, at the word neck, Cinderella recoils. She's so ladylike, she wouldn't even parse an improper noun. So she says...
Fair prince, I know nothing of love.
So the fairy says...
Are you kidding?
And before the fairies waved the wand 3 times, Cinderella spent 3 seasons in the balcony at the Bijou. So Cindy turns to the prince and says...
Okay, Prince, lead me to that drawbridge. Say, Archie.
Yes, Margaret?
Don't you think I'd better grow up a bit before I hear the end of the story?
What are you talking? It's Cinderella, ain't it? It was wrote for kids. Well, anyway, the prince and Cinderella's up on the drawbridge, and it's a beautiful moonlight night. Suddenly, the palace clock strikes 12, just as the prince is putting his arms around her and he's kissing her. Hearing the clock strike, she says...
I'm sorry, Prince, but my fairy godmother says if I don't leave right now, I'll turn into a bundle of rags.
So the prince says...
Look, kid, I've heard alibis in me time, but this one takes the cake.
So Cinderella says...
The back of me slipper, Toyo.
She flings the slipper at him and races home. The prince don't know who she is. His only clue is that she wears a slipper size 2.5 AAA, that it has French heels, and that it's made by the Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company. Okay, Eddie, take the finish, huh?
Will Prince Charming wind up with one of the ugly stepsisters? With the fairy godmother? Will he go back to his yo-yo? Or will he find happiness in the feet of Cinderella?
But, Archie, don't we end the story tonight?
No, we end it tomorrow night. This is a cliffhanger, you know. Well, good night, kiddies. Well, Margaret, now that you've acted in my television program, do you think it can do big things for you?
Oh, yes.
What?
My studio can start saying that I'm only 3 years old again.
3 years old? I don't understand. How come?
A play like this will put me back 10 years.
Hello? Oh, hello, Duffy. Yeah, well, have a good time and we'll be with you next week.